Chapter 4, Final Questions. Section 80. Mahamati Bodhisattva again asked the Buddha, Bhagavan, would you please explain for Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and Pratyekabuddhas the sequence of stages involving the Samadhi of cessation, so that once I and the other Bodhisattvas better understand this sequence, we will not wrongly forsake the bliss of the Samadhi of cessation, or fall prey to the foolishness of Shravakas, Pratyekabuddhas, or followers of other paths? The Buddha told Mahamate, Listen carefully and ponder it well, and I will tell you. Mahamate answered the Buddha, Would the Bhagavan please instruct us? The Buddha told Mahamate, It is at the 6th stage that Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and Pratyekabuddhas enter the Samadhi of cessation. At the 7th stage, Bodhisattvas think thoughts during this Samadhi, but thoughts that are free from any characteristics of self-existence. This is not true of Shravakas or Pratyekabuddhas. Shravakas and Pratyekabuddhas fall prey to their own accomplishments and are aware of a practitioner and a practice during this Samadhi. Therefore, at the 7th stage, they do not think thoughts. Instead of the undifferentiated nature of things, they still perceive their different characteristics during this Samadhi, such as which are good or bad. Hence, at the 7th stage, they are unable to think during this Samadhi. Mahamate, from the 1st to the 7th stage, Bodhisattvas see the 3 realms as nothing but mind, will, and conceptual consciousness, and without a self or what belongs to a self. But for Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and Pratyekabuddhas at the 8th stage, projections of mind, will, and conceptual consciousness cease. Meanwhile, those fools who cultivate their own projections remain trapped by the myriad characteristics of external entities and see things in terms of the dialectic of subject and object, unaware that these are the result of habit energy from the beginningless past. Mahamate, at the 8th stage, Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and Pratyekabuddhas experience nirvana. But because Bodhisattvas are supported by Buddhas during Samadhi, despite the bliss of Samadhi, they do not enter nirvana. Without such support, they would not complete the Tathagata stage, and would give up all that they do for other beings, and would sever their membership in the lineage of Buddhas. Therefore, the Buddhas tell them of the inconceivable and infinite virtues of a Tathagata. Meanwhile, Shravakas and Pratyekabuddhas are seduced by the bliss of Samadhi and create the thought of nirvana. Mahamate, I have distinguished these 7 stages that involve examining characteristics of the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness, and that involve examining the self and what belongs to a self, and the absence of a self among both persons and things, and that involve examining the individual and shared characteristics of what arises and ceases, and that also involve mastery of the 4 unhindered powers of argument and judgment, Samadhi, the sequence of stages, and the elements of awareness, in order to prevent Bodhisattvas unaware of individual or shared characteristics and unfamiliar with the 7 stages from falling prey to the mistaken doctrines of other paths. This is why I teach a sequence of stages. Mahamate, there is nothing that actually arises or ceases. The sequence of stages and all the phenomena in the 3 realms are nothing but perceptions of one's own mind. But fools are unaware of this, and because they are unaware, I and other Buddhas talk about a sequence of stages and talk about the phenomena of the 3 realms. Moreover, Mahamate, Shravakas and Pratyekabuddhas at the 8th Bodhisattva stage become so intoxicated by the bliss of the Samadhi of cessation, they fail to realize it is nothing but the perception of their own mind. Obstructed by the habit energy of individual and shared characteristics, they fall prey to views of attachment to no self among persons and things, and give rise to conceptions of nirvana, not to an understanding of detachment from dharmas. Mahamate, When bodhisattvas experience the bliss of the samadhi of cessation, because of their earlier vows of compassion to complete the 10 inexhaustible deeds, they do not give rise to conceptions of nirvana. And because conceptions of nirvana do not arise, they transcend projections of grasping and what is grasped, and realize that these are nothing but perceptions of their own mind. And because they do not give rise to projections of any kind, they do not fall prey to projections of the mind, will, or conceptual consciousness, or characteristics of external existence. They do not give rise to what is not conducive to the Dharma. And as their wisdom grows, they reach the Tathagata stage of self-realization. It is like someone crossing a river in a dream, who wakes up before they are across. Once they are awake, they wonder if it was real or not. But it was neither real nor not real. It was only because of the different habit energy of the traces that remained from the sights, sounds, feelings, and thoughts from the beginningless past that different shapes appeared and disappeared in the dream that is the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness. Mahamate, this is how bodhisattvas at the 8th stage view the arising of projections. As they progress from the 1st stage through the 7th stage, they see everything as an illusion. But once they transcend projections of subject and object, they undertake the work of the Dharma, so that those who have not yet understood, understand. Mahamate, this is the nirvana of bodhisattvas. It does not involve annihilation. And because they transcend the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness, they achieve the forbearance of non-arising. Mahamate, the ultimate truth includes no sequence of stages, the absence of all projections. This is what is meant by detachment from dharmas.